Do you really know your partner? Do not answer too fast. Watch this movie first, then decide, because in the next story, before the very last moment, no one can guess the truth. It is the romance mystery film Initiation Love. The story happens in Shizuoka, Japan, in 1987. The male lead, Suzuki, is an overweight college student in his 4th year. Suzuki is honest and quiet. He never dates a girl before. On a Friday night in early July, he gets invited by a classmate to a mixer. There he meets the goddess of his dreams, Mayuko. Mayuko is sweet, cute, lively, and cheerful. All the boys there want to talk to her. Mayuko wears a ruby ring on her hand. Everyone asks if it is a gift from her boyfriend. Mayuko says shyly that she has no boyfriend. She says she buys the ring for herself as a birthday gift a few days ago. Mayuko says she is a nurse at a dental hospital. When they hear this, the boys there suddenly get excited. They joke about how she looks in a nurse outfit. Their words are very rude. Mayuko starts to look a little embarrassed at this time. The quiet Suzuki suddenly starts to introduce himself. Seeing Suzuki speak so awkwardly, everyone laughs. So no one keeps talking about the nurse outfit because Suzuki helps her out. Mayuko starts to like this honest boy. After dinner, she takes the lead and asks Suzuki to sing with her. Seeing Mayuko's sweet smile, Suzuki feels very happy inside. On a weekend in August, the group meets again to have fun at the beach. Suzuki feels shy about his big belly, so he does not take off his clothes or go into the water. He stays alone on the shore. Gentle Mayuko comes back to shore and talks with him. Mayuko finds that Suzuki is quiet but honest and sincere. He is also a real top student in science, so she leaves her phone number to him. Shy Suzuki struggles for a whole week. At last he gets the courage to call the girl of his dreams. They agree to have dinner together on Friday, on the night of the date. They talk very happily. They also agree to have dinner together every Friday night after this, because both of them like reading. They also agree to trade novels from their homes next time they meet to leave a good impression on Mayuko. In the next week, Suzuki buys new clothes and changes his hairstyle. He even takes off his glasses after many years and changes to contact lenses. Friday night comes again. The new-looking Suzuki brings a set of his favorite novels. He comes to the restaurant they choose. This time they still talk very happily after that. They have dinner together every Friday night. Only once Mayuko cancels the date because she does not feel well. Time comes to a night in late September. Suzuki finally gets the courage to confess his love. That night the two spend the night together. After that they officially start dating. In the days after that they are like every couple in love. They laugh, play and live sweetly. Before Christmas, Mayuko says one thing casually. She says she wants to eat at a hotel she likes for the holiday. Suzuki keeps it in his heart and quickly calls to book a table. This hotel is very popular. Sometimes people even need to book half a year early. Luckily, Suzuki is lucky enough to meet a man who just cancels his booking. On Christmas night, Mayuko finally comes to the hotel she likes. Suzuki notices that she does not wear that ruby ring for a long time now. So he asks her what happens. Mayuko looks a little sad and says she loses the ring. Suzuki quickly comforts her and says when her birthday comes next year, he will surely buy a ruby ring for her. Then the two exchange Christmas gifts. Suzuki gives Mayuko a necklace. Mayuko gives Suzuki a pair of red sneakers. This is the first time overweight Suzuki gets a gift, and it is from his dream girl. He is almost too happy. Right after dinner, he cannot wait to put on the shoes. He pulls Mayuko's hand and runs to the square at the hotel entrance to show off. At this time, a passing couple whispers about them. They laugh at Suzuki and say he does not match beautiful Mayuko. To not embarrass his dream girl, Suzuki decides to lose weight. He starts to run in the shoes his dream girl gives him. In a blink, time comes to late June. The overweight Suzuki in red sneakers becomes the slim and handsome Suzuki. After graduation, he joins a local company in Shizuoka. Because he does well, the company chooses him to go to Tokyo for a 3-year work trip. This is a very rare chance to learn. Even though he really cannot leave his girlfriend, Suzuki still decides to take this chance. He promises Mayuko that he will come back every weekend to see her. After all, the drive from Tokyo to Shizuoka is only 5 or 6 hours. Mayuko is very understanding. She only says goodbye to her boyfriend with tears in her eyes. A few days later, Suzuki leaves Shizuoka and goes to Tokyo. In this strange city, he misses Mayuko even more. On the second day after moving in, he buys a ruby ring. Then he drives back to Shizuoka in a hurry. It turns out that day is Mayuko's birthday, and he does not forget his promise. The two spend a wonderful night together. After that, Suzuki goes back to Tokyo and truly begins a hard, long-distance love. At the beginning, both of them feel very confident in their love. Every Saturday, Suzuki goes back to Mayuko and then returns on Sunday. Meeting once a week does not make them distant. Instead, it makes them even more close and sweet. But before long, Suzuki starts to fail to keep going. Daily overtime, weekend travel, and the high cost of going back and forth makes Suzuki very tired in body and very short of money. The hardest part is still the temptation from a beautiful coworker. Suzuki has a new coworker named Miko. She is pretty graceful and mature. She is a totally different type from lively and cute Mayuko. On his first day at work, Suzuki is already deeply impressed by her. Miko also likes the handsome Suzuki. One weekend, Miko asks him to watch a play with her, and Suzuki does not refuse. Because of this, he turns down his beach date with Mayuko. He does not go back to Mayuko until the next weekend. Mayuko tells him that she may be pregnant. Suzuki does not run away. He says on the spot that if it is true, they will marry at once. They go to the hospital for a check and find that Mayuko is really 3 months pregnant. When Suzuki hears this result, his face turns dark at once. After coming home, he sees that Mayuko buys a set of expensive hardcover novels. He loses his temper on the spot and even knocks the books to the floor. He also scolds Mayuko and says she should not spend money on such expensive things. Angry Suzuki even almost hits Mayuko. Hurt Mayuko can only cry and say sorry. Suzuki, full of rage, slams the door and leaves. After going back to Tokyo, Suzuki calls Mayuko and tells her to end the pregnancy. Mayuko does not blame him. She only cries quietly in a low voice. On a later weekend, Suzuki stays with Mayuko for the surgery. After that, their relationship slowly grows distant. The dates and reunions they once promised slowly change from once a week to once every 2 weeks. On the other side, Suzuki and Miko get closer and closer. Miko even confesses to him once. But because Mayuko still exists, Suzuki says nothing at that time. One night, Miko again tells Suzuki her love. This time, Suzuki finally admits that he has a girlfriend. Miko asks him what kind of girl she is. Suzuki answers that his girlfriend is very ordinary. Compared with Miko, she is just like a child. But she is his first love. If he breaks up easily, then he is a casual person. Suzuki then asks Miko, if he is a casual person, will she still like him? Unexpectedly, Miko does not care at all, and she gives her own big idea. She tells Suzuki that if he keeps dating someone only to not look casual, then she will instead feel that girl is very pitiful. Miko explains further. Many people think that first love is the one they are meant to be with. In fact, this is only a childish idea. The meaning of first love is often to help people see clearly that there is no such thing as fate in love. When you see this clearly, you change from a child into an adult. This is the so-called coming of age of love. Maybe Mayuko is the coming of age of Suzuki's love. Miko's strange words suddenly make Suzuki understand everything. That same night, the two walk into a love hotel and spend a wonderful night together. From then on, Suzuki and Miko officially start dating. In the days after that, Suzuki moves between his new love and old love. This weekend, he stays with Miko in Tokyo, and next weekend, he goes back to Mayuko in Shizuoka. Miko does not care that her boyfriend dates 2 women, but Mayuko is not that accepting. On a weekend in late October, while staying with Mayuko, Suzuki says the wrong name by accident and calls her Miko. Mayuko shakes all over and asks who Miko really is. Unexpectedly, Suzuki gets angry from shame and starts smashing things and losing his temper. He blames Mayuko for never taking the lead to visit him in Tokyo. Every time it is he who drives back with great effort. The more Suzuki talks, the angrier he gets, and he almost hits Mayuko again. Only when he sees Mayuko crying so sadly does he finally stop. Then he slams the door again and ends this love with coldness. Mayuko then gives back the ruby ring Suzuki gives her. After breaking up with Mayuko, Suzuki starts to focus on dating Miko. But this cheating man calls the wrong number after getting drunk once and reaches Mayuko on the other side of the phone. Mayuko happily calls Suzuki's name. It is as if they never break up. Suzuki suddenly starts to waver again before Christmas. Miko talks with Suzuki. She wants to take him home at Christmas to meet her parents. Only then does Suzuki remember that he originally promises Mayuko to spend the holiday at the hotel she likes. He even books the table half a year early, but now things are different. So he can only call and cancel the booking. On Christmas Day, Suzuki goes home with Miko for the holiday. Miko's parents are very happy with this future son-in-law. But that afternoon Suzuki suddenly remembers that he still does not tell Mayuko about canceling the hotel, because he worries that Mayuko may wait for him at the hotel door, and also because he still has feelings and wants to see his ex. Suzuki actually leaves Miko's family behind and drives back to Shizuoka in a hurry. When he gets there, Mayuko is really just like he expects. She stands quietly in the square at the hotel entrance and waits. Suzuki feels warm inside and runs over happily, but he crashes into a fat man and they both fall to the ground. Mayuko runs to the fat man's side instead. She asks with concern if he is okay. And this fat man looks exactly like Suzuki before losing weight. At this point the story suddenly becomes very confusing. Does Suzuki really travel back to 1 year ago? Next, the movie finally shows the truth. It turns out, Fat Suzuki and Slim Suzuki are two different people at all. They are both named Suzuki, and both are fourth-year students when they meet Mayuko. But Slim Suzuki meets Mayuko in 1986, 1 year earlier than Fat Suzuki. The movie is not told in time order at all. After Slim Suzuki appears, time goes back to June 1987. The director uses the running scenes of both men in red shoes to confuse the timeline on purpose. This makes the audience think Slim Suzuki is Fat Suzuki after losing weight. Until the last 5 minutes the director uses a timeline to sort out and show the whole truth. It turns out that in April 1986, Mayuko and the handsome Slim Suzuki fall in love at first sight at a mixer, and they soon start dating. By July 1987, after Slim Suzuki graduates, he is sent to Tokyo for work. Lonely Mayuko then meets Fat Suzuki at a mixer, and she begins her plan to keep him as a backup in the days after that. Mayuko, who looks pure and harmless, is actually very clever all along. She plays with both men in her hands. On work days, she dates Fat Suzuki, and on weekends, she has fun with Slim Suzuki. Do you remember that once Mayuko feels sick and cancels her Friday date with Fat Suzuki? That is because she is going for an abortion on the weekend, so she is in no mood for a date. Later, when Slim Suzuki officially starts dating Miko in Tokyo, Mayuko also officially starts dating Fat Suzuki in Shizuoka. This messy four-way relationship keeps going until late October 1987, when Slim Suzuki and Mayuko break up. After that, Slim Suzuki still cannot forget Mayuko. On Christmas Day, he runs into Fat Suzuki. The strange relationship of the three finally comes to light. The movie sets many small details before and after to leave clues for the mystery. For example, the expensive set of novels that Slim Suzuki blames Mayuko for buying is actually brought to Mayuko by Fat Suzuki from his home. Another example is the wrong call Slim Suzuki makes after the breakup. On the phone, Mayuko still happily calls Suzuki's name. In fact, she is calling Fat Suzuki, and the hotel booking that Fat Suzuki gets before Christmas is exactly the booking that Slim Suzuki cancels. Initiation Love uses a narrative trick to create a huge false picture for the audience. Only in the shocking twist in the last 5 minutes do viewers suddenly understand. It turns out there is no worse cheater, only an even worse one. Mayuko, who always looks weak and pitiful through the whole movie, is the biggest player in this messy love story full of bad men and bad women. That is all for this episode. Friends who like mystery films, do not forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.